Hey guys, welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts update video. It's been a while. It's been, I think, over a month since I did my last update. Work has been busy. I just haven't really had the itch lately to record a video. But today I think I'll go ahead and show some of the things I picked up over the past month, joined here by the lovely two ladies, Miss Hannah on the right, Miss Heidi on the left. Got a little pile of things here, getting bigger and bigger. The pile always gets bigger. There's always things coming in. You guys know how that goes as collectors out there. So let's get into it here. I have a little pile of miscellaneous stuff. Small pile of Scream Factory. I took advantage of the Arrow sale and I got a nice little stack here. Found some box sets at thrift shops. I got some other VHS back here. I got into a new, I guess this is going to be, I took another rabbit hole and I started to collect graded comics, so I'll save those for last. And I couldn't remember if I showed off that vinyl Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I got that a few months ago. I can't remember if I showed it or not. And I also found a little cassette tape that was in really good shape, and this was the original pressing from 1984 from Capitol Records, and this is Nat King Cole, Unforgettable. Nat is probably my favorite singer of all time. He's right up there, neck and neck with Frank Sinatra. I think Nat was a little bit smoother, his voice was a little bit better, so I would probably give the nod to Nat if I had to pick one of the other over the other, but they're both very, very excellent legends. So I picked that up. I got that for I think $1.25, and it's in brand new condition, man. I mean, it's really, really nice for $1.25. I snatched that up. Too bad they didn't have any Sinatra. I would have grabbed that too. Well, let's get into the pile of goodies that I got. I hope you guys are well. It's been a while since I did this. I feel like I'm a little rusty. So let's check it out. We'll start with the miscellaneous pile. Okay, so we're just going to kind of randomly pull from piles like we always do. I recently got a PlayStation 5 a couple months back, and the very first game I got was the Evil Dead game. And I recently picked this one up a few weeks ago. I did a live play of this on my channel, on my second channel, a few weeks ago. I haven't had much time to do much with that second channel lately. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that second channel. But I did pick up The Quarry. Seems like it's a pretty good game. It's pretty much kind of it's not a point and click game, but it's the next thing to that, I guess. You don't get a lot of free range roaming in the game. It's pretty much you got to go from point A to point B, and you have to pick dialogue sequences and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a great game, but I was having fun with it. It's a horror game. Kind of plays out like a movie from the 80s, a horror movie from the 80s. So at some point I'll do another live Let's Play of this, but for now I don't have a whole lot of time to do that. Recently I picked up a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and I had no idea this movie existed. It's called Dark Night of the Scarecrow 2. And when I purchased some stuff on Amazon, they give you kind of a suggestion page, other movies you may like that are kind of similar to the movies that you just purchased. And I really enjoyed the original Dark Night of the Scarecrow. It was a made-for-TV horror movie from the late 70s, early 80s. It was very well done. Very, very good movie. I had no idea this one existed, so a couple days ago when they suggested it to me, I was like, why not? It was cheap enough. I think it was only about, it was $15 or less. For a Blu-ray, that's pretty good. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet. It just came in a couple days ago. But I do enjoy the Scarecrow movies, and this was put up by VCI and MVD Visual. You know, I don't know anything about the movie, and I think sometimes it's better to go into these movies blind, in my opinion. So looking forward to checking this out. May even pop this one in tonight to give this my Sunday night movie watch as I kind of unwind from the weekend and get ready for work tomorrow morning. I may pop that in and give it a little watch. I also picked up Violent City. It's a Charles Bronson movie. This is an Italian crime movie. It was filmed, I believe, in Italy and in the U.S. This was when Charles Bronson was at his best, I think. You know, Charles Bronson made a career of playing the tough guy, and he was like at his A game during this movie. I've seen this movie before a couple times, and I really enjoy it. This was put out by Kino Lorber. It came with this beautiful slipcover. So I'm going to pause it here. We're going to open it up, check it out. So this is a movie from 1970, and it also starred Jill Ireland, who we all know was Charles Bronson's wife, and he included her in a lot of his movies during this period, 1970s and to the 80s even. I didn't mind Jill Ireland. I didn't think she was a great actress, but she was okay, I suppose. I was more interested in the movie for Bronson. Telly Savalas was the bad guy in the movie. If you guys haven't seen the movie, I strongly recommend it. It was released in 1970, like I was saying, under the title Violent City. And then in 1973, they re-released the movie under the name The Family. And it was cut by, I think, 13 minutes. And they chose the name The Family to try to ride the coattails of the very popular movie The Godfather, which had came out a year prior to 73. I believe it came out in 1972, The Godfather. And so they tried to cash in on that. And to me, if you're going to do that, they should have never cut the movie. I'm not going to get into all that, but the best way to watch this movie is the way it was originally intended, and that is the full-length version, which is 109 minutes. You can watch this with subtitles. I wanted to kind of show you guys the reversible covers here. They have 3 different covers. You got the slipcover art, which is beautiful. This is really good. That's Violent City. And then when you take the disc out, there's a third, and that is The Family, and you can see that they very much tried to kind of copy The Godfather's success, and I think it kind of tanked. It didn't really do as well as they were hoping. But you have Violent City. I think that is, let me see, what is the difference here between the two? Okay, so you have Violent City, that is the full length, and then you have The Family, which is the cut. It's cut by 13 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Violent City, 109 minutes. The Family, 96 minutes. So I don't really like to do math here on the show, but it seems to be 13 minutes to me. But yeah, I was very happy to get this. I have this movie already a couple different times, but I was glad to pick this up on Blu-ray. That is a beautiful edition. And like I say, if you guys watch my channel, you know the taste of movies that I have just from the suggestions I've given in the past. And if you enjoy some of the movies I recommended in the past, you will definitely like this one as well. So 101 Films sent me a couple of movies to view, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, 101 Films. They're a great British company, and from what I'm told, by 101 Films directly, these are the same exact transfers that Shout Factory / Scream Factory had. It's the very same print, so there's not going to be any difference in the quality. But I thought that was really nice that they sent these to me. The first one here is called Crazy Mama, and I really like the way that these look. I really have to invest a little more in this company. They're doing really, really good things. Great people over there. This one was from 1975. I like how they have it on the spine too. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's kind of washed out with the flash. But right there on the spine, 1975. Nice, clean, very nice artwork. Everything looks really good. These look very nice side by side on the shelves. They also sent me Caged Heat, movie from 1974, the year I was born. Another nice clean spine. I love the way that looks. Very glad to add these to the collection because I did not get the Scream Factory / Shout Factory editions of these movies. So these are going to be the viewing copies I have because I don't own these movies until now. So thank you very much for that, 101 Films and Tim for sending those to me. This was the Disney movie of the month. And you guys know if you belong to the Disney Movie Club, the DMC, each month they send you an email or snail mail and they tell you which movie that they're going to be sending you during the course of the month unless you decide to cancel it, and you have to make sure that you cancel it, otherwise they send it to you automatically. They automatically bill the credit card that you have on file, and they sent this to me. I didn't decline it because I wanted this movie. I've never seen it before, and this is called Turning Red. This is the latest Disney / Pixar movie. It is the 4K Ultra HD, the Blu-ray, and it comes with the digital code. And it's called the Ultimate Collector's Edition. Comes in this beautiful kind of a foil slipcover, black case. And I really enjoy what Disney puts out, so very glad to add this to the collection. And you can see it's still sealed, haven't watched it yet. But that was it for the miscellaneous pile. I'm going to pause it here, put a couple of things away. If there's anything that I'm showing in this video that you guys want to chime in and discuss or talk about, please feel free to do so. Just kind of avoid spoilers if you can, please, just because some of these I haven't seen yet, and there's a lot of people who go and read the comments, and I don't want to spoil it for them either. So let me pause it here, and we'll get into the Scream Factory stuff. Into the Scream Factory pile we go. I've been trying to catch up and grab some of these twin billings, these double features that Scream Factory has put out over the years. A lot of these have gone out of print. Most of them have. And the ones that are out of print are pretty much impossible to, well, they're not impossible. You find them, but they're very expensive. And I have a huge collection, but sometimes I refuse to pay past a certain amount. I'm stubborn that way. So there's a couple I may not get unless I find them for the right price. This was not one of those. This one was still very affordable. It is out of print, but I think it's around the $30 to $40 mark, even maybe $45 to get it sealed, still brand new and sealed. I bought this one used. I got it for less than $30. It was viewed once, according to the seller. It looks like it's in brand new condition. This is the double feature of The House Where Evil Dwells and Ghost Warrior. These look like a lot of fun. I haven't seen either of the movies yet, but I am trying to get all of the movies from the collection, from this double feature collection from Scream Factory. And these look like good popcorn films. You know, you can pop a big batch of popcorn, have a soda or a tea, and just kind of kick back and watch these, almost like drive-in style movies. So I was glad to grab these two movies. I also grabbed Paranoiac with Oliver Reed. It's a black and white film. I started to watch this the other day and I was really tired. I say that a lot, but I've been working quite a bit, and I've been just dragging ass lately, so haven't really watched much on TV, haven't really watched much on YouTube, but I think that slipcover looks amazing. It definitely has like a 60s vibe to it, 60s feel. And the movie came out in, let's see, I believe it was 62, if I'm right. 1962. It's a new 2K scan of the film, and like I said, it's in black and white, but it looks so good. Black and white movies that are cleaned up, nothing looks better than a black and white movie when it's cleaned up into a 2K. And there's the reversible cover. Oliver Reed was a great actor. He lived a very rough life. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he was a brilliant actor. He was a kind of an odd man in his personal life, but hey, who am I to judge? I'm odd myself. But yes, this movie, it started out good. I'm looking forward to. I think I got about 25 minutes into it, so I think when I pop it back in, I'm going to start it all the way from the beginning and watch it through, and looking forward to checking this one out. And that's Paranoiac. There was an alternate title. Now I can't remember what it was called. I think there was a second title for the movie. I'm not going to spend time looking for that because my videos are already long enough. Picked up another Scream Factory Collector's Edition. I bought these on Amazon, so I did not get the posters, which I'm okay with that because I don't have a lot of room for posters anymore. Anytime I get posters now, I put them in a portfolio, so they just sit in a book. But this one's called Nightmare. Again, this is another black and white picture, and this is a beautiful slipcover. I think that looks amazing. I love how they did the eyes. They're almost kind of a, well, you can see like the porcelain iris and then the crystal blue pupil. It looks really good in that Nightmare font. I think it looks really amazing. And then you got some kind of like a letter opener or a knife in the chest of that woman there. Again, this is I believe this is a 2K scan from the Interpositive. It is, and it has new audio commentary. There's new bonus features on here, so it's really cool. This is a movie from the 60s as well, 1963. Haven't popped this one in yet, but this would probably be a good back-to-back watch with these two. So I was glad to grab those before the slipcover gets sold out. I just recently grabbed this one. This is The Sword and the Sorcerer. This is another Scream Factory title. It's a 4K Blu-ray combo collector's edition. This has one of the best movie posters ever. There it is right there. That is the original poster. This movie came out in 1982, I think. Yes, it did. Of course, this is a sword and sorcery kind of a adventure, medieval adventure type movie. And I've seen this movie several times. The first time I ever saw this movie was on VHS way back when. I've owned this on DVD and now Blu-ray and 4K, so I've seen this movie a handful of times. The bad guy in this movie is Richard Lynch right there. He's always a good bad guy, right? I'm going to take the cellophane off here and we'll take a look at the inside in a second, but you get the new 2021 4K scan of the original negative on disc 1, and you get new audio commentary with director Albert Pyun. I probably butchered that. Pyun. Pyun. And disc 2 is the Blu-ray, and you get a 2021 4K scan, and you get commentary, interviews, trailers, all kinds of good stuff here. And from what I remember of the movie, like I said, I have seen it a handful of times. It's not by any means a great movie. You know, it's not up there with like Willow or The Princess Bride. Those are excellent movies. This is more middle of the road, or a little bit better than middle of the road in my opinion. I would probably, from what I remember, give it about a 6.5 out of 10. Whereas Willow, I would probably give that 8.5 or 9, and for Princess Bride, I would definitely give that at least a 9, if not 9.5. To me, it's very hard to get a 10. There's only a couple movies that I would give a 10 out of 10, but Princess Bride is right up there. But this one is more, like I said, middle of the road. It's still very fun. It's a fun movie. So let me pause it here. I'll get the plastic off. We'll take a look inside. So the plastic is off. I took the insert, or the cover, I took it out. And there is the reversible cover, which looks okay. It's definitely nowhere near that, in my opinion. That is beautiful. That would be a great movie-sized poster. 27 by 41 inch poster on your wall with that image would be, you'd be the coolest kid in the neighborhood, I think. This one is okay, but I'm going to flip it just because, so I can have both covers, because that image is already on the slip, but I much prefer that image there. And then on the inside you have the Blu-ray, and you have the 4K. Can't wait to pop this one in and check it out. I'm sure it's going to look beautiful. I bet it cleaned up nice, and this is another one I would recommend you get in your collection, especially just to collect it and have the slipcover, because I have a feeling when this one sells out, this is gonna go up pretty high in price. So grab that before the slipcover is gone. Let me put the stuff back together and we'll get into the Arrow video pile. Alright, so getting into the Arrow video pile, I did manage to grab some titles that I had on my wish list or my want list. There's a really good Arrow sale, and they've been having a couple sales over this past year so far. Some really good sales, and I think I paid about half price for each of these titles, which was a really good buy. It enabled me to So getting into the Arrow pile, Arrow has been having a sale going for a while, and they have some really, really good deals, and I was able to grab a decent amount of movies I had on my want list now. So been crossing off some of the movies that were on my list, and this is one here. I believe this is a traditional Chinese kung fu type movie. This is called the 8-Diagram Pole Fighter, and it comes with a beautiful slipcover. I was glad because I wasn't sure if the slipcovers sell out. You never really know what you're going to get when you order online, unless you order from like Vinegar Syndrome and they let you know exactly how many slipcovers they have. A lot of other companies won't do that. So you kind of, if you wait, it's your own fault, I guess. You know, if you wait, if you really want it, grab it early and you're kind of guarantee yourself a slipcover. But if you wait, you really don't know what you're going to get. So this one has a ton of bonus features here. As you can see, you get a 2K restoration, all kinds of other stuff here. You can watch it in the original Cantonese, Mandarin, and English mono audio. That's cool. You can also watch it with English subtitles. There's commentary and a tribute to Fu Sheng, a short film commemorating the late actor. So I love these kind of movies. It looks like there's also a German dub in here, if I'm reading that right. I don't know if that's a German dub of the movie or a German dub of the special features. I'd have to look into that a little bit more. But I think that's pretty amazing if they do have it in German, because my German friends want to see this stuff too. So I'm going to pause it really quick and we will take the wrapper off. Alright, so the plastic is off. You know what I really love about these Arrow video releases? You know, when you pick it up, it has some heft to it. You know, there's some weight to it. It feels really good. I mean, it's just a very chunky, heavy edition. The slipcover is in great condition. It's not too thin. It's really, really good. It looks great. The color scheme looks great. I think the art is really good. Comes with a booklet. We'll just flip through really quick. Don't want to go too much into the booklets in this video because I do have a lot of stuff to show. But it's always great to get, you know, a poster or a booklet or an art card. Really, really good. And then of course here is the Blu-ray. And then there's a reversible cover with the Chinese font, and I'm not sure if that's the original poster. I'm assuming it is, but I don't know what the original poster looks like. These are fun movies to watch. I have to be in the right mood though to watch these type of movies. You know, I can sit and binge watch them all day when I'm in the mood for them. So it is good to have these on hand. And I do have quite a few of Asian gems I still have to watch yet. Okay, so that was the 8-Diagram Pole Fighter. I feel like I kind of rushed through that one, but I have a lot of stuff to show. So again, if you guys know anything about these, if you recommend them, or if there's anything you want to add about these, please feel free to do so down below. I was able to grab Robocop Steelbook very, very cheap, in my opinion. These were all about half price, so I needed this one for the Steelbook collection. This is the 4K Robocop. I ordered this one from Amazon. They sent it to me in a bubble mailer. A bubble mailer with 2 other movies in it. And luckily, there's not any damage to this at all. I was so nervous when I opened up that bag. Amazon just doesn't know, unless you're a collector and you understand how people want to have things minty fresh. People don't care, especially in that industry. Everybody's so rushed. They just want to hurry up and get things out the door. So just throw a bunch of movies in a plastic bag or in a bubble mailer, and you know, cross your fingers and hope for the best. But it worked this time. I would not recommend shipping Steelbooks in a plastic bag or a bubble mailer. If you are a collector, you know that you want to have these things in pristine condition. One little scratch, one little ding, and it's pretty much useless. But here's one that I don't know much about at all. This is called Shogun's Joy of Torture. I did get some more Asian goodies. You're going to see a couple more in here, I think. Or is this the last one? This is the last Asian movie in this update video. But I do love my Asian movies, and this is kind of a drama / horror, according to IMDb. It's a film by Teruo Ishii. And you know, they can come up with some scary and crazy movies. This is the same director that did Horrors of Malformed Men, which I do have. This is a kind of a horror anthology. I think there's 3 movies. They call it 3 tales in here to make up the movie. It is 96 minutes running time. This is the Region A. It was released in 2021. The film itself came out in 1968. So I will pop the, let's see if I can, I don't know why I didn't do this. See, I told you I was rusty. Usually I have this all prepared already, and I can just go from one to the next. So let me pause it here. Okay, so I got the cover off. I took the disc out momentarily, and I just wanted to show you the interior, or the reversible cover. That must be the original poster art, I'm assuming. It came with an advertisement card for the Deeper You Dig. Looks like that could be a good one, right? And then it comes with this beautiful book. Very high quality, thick pages, tons of write-ups about the movie. Arrow, you guys are the cat's ass. You guys are the best. I'll never quit you, Arrow. I can't quit you. So that is Shogun's Joy of Torture. Couple more Arrow titles. I picked up Edge of Sanity, starring Anthony Perkins. This was also released as a double feature from Scream Factory. I don't remember what it was released with. I'm going to pause it here for a minute. I'm going to go run and grab that double feature. I'll be right back. All right, so this was the Scream Factory double feature. You have Edge of Sanity paired up with Destroyer. And I thought Edge of Sanity was pretty good. And I thought that Anthony Perkins played a really good creepy villain in here. Even though, you know, he was a creepy villain in Psycho too, as well, I should say. But there is the reversible cover, and as you can see, it's the same image pretty much that was on the Scream Factory. So I'm assuming that was the original poster release. And then it came with a booklet and an art card. The art card is the Sacred Spirit. Don't know anything about that either, but I love that Arrow just keep churning out the goodies. Some of the best movies I've ever seen in my life have been blind buys for me, or blind buys. You know, going into a movie having never seen it or heard of it before. There's a lot of companies that are really releasing some good stuff. Vinegar Syndrome is another one. Arrow Video, of course. Criterion. You can really enrich your film knowledge by just collecting these companies and watching the titles that they release. So that is Edge of Sanity. Glad to have that in the collection because I love that cover right there. Don't mind having it double dipping. That cover right there is amazing. Does it say who did the cover? Graham Humphreys, I should have known. That's exactly his style. That's because that's who did it. All right, I got a couple of the same movie with different titles. This one I bought on Amazon. This one was sent to me by Arrow Video. Thank you very much, Arrow Video. This was an Arrow Video exclusive. I believe it was an online exclusive called The Scaremaker. It was also called Girls Night Out. I'm going to keep this one sealed since it's kind of a collectible piece. Does it say how many were released? Probably about 3,000, I would imagine. This is an all region. I'm going to put that off to the side because it's the same exact movie. We'll open up this one and we'll get into it. It's called Girls Night Out. I believe it is a slasher movie from, let's see if it says here on the back. It has 97 minutes running time. It doesn't say in the back what year it came out. I'm guessing it was either late 70s or maybe early to mid 80s, somewhere in that timeline. It says it was originally released under the title The Scaremaker. Girls Night Out is a decidedly singular slasher flick which comes on like a frantic cross between Animal House and Friday the 13th, veering from jovial frat antics to jarringly disturbing scenes of the killer shrieking obscenities as they slice up their victims. On this night out, no one is coming home. So that cover right there is amazing. That cover looks really good. And like I was saying, I'm going to keep this one sealed just because it's a collector's piece now. But let me pause it. We'll take a look at the inside here. So if any of you have seen this movie already, comment down below and let me know what you would give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd be curious to hear that. And if you guys give it really good grades, I'll pop it up my to watch list. So here's the slipcover, which is beautiful. Love the way that looks. You can see that the blades coming out of that, I don't know if that's some kind of like a costume or like a mascot suit, but you can see those blades coming out of the fist. They're embossed, but they're also kind of a glossy paint, which looks really good when the light hits it. And I took the disc out right there, but there's the reversible cover. Girls Night Out. And it comes with a nice booklet again. And again, the pages are very thick and glossy, very bright, vibrant colors. A lot of details and write-ups about the movie. This one interests me quite a bit. And I've never seen the movie before, so at least not that I can remember. There's times when I think, I'll sit down and pop a movie in thinking I've never seen it before, and it gets 10 minutes in and I'm like, oh, I remember seeing this. I don't think I have seen this one though, but anyway, I'm going to put this stuff away and we'll get into the next title. So to save a little time, I just took the plastic off this one. It's called the Brotherhood of Satan. Comes with another beautiful slipcover. Looks really, really good. Looks like it's a child possession type movie, I'm assuming, from the cover. This is a movie from 1970. And you get a pretty decent amount of special features there. A small rural town and a family of outsiders, both trapped in the demonic grip of the Brotherhood of Satan. It almost has kind of that Children of the Corn type description, I guess. Look at that's a pretty cool cover too. Yeah, I'll definitely flip that because I already have that same image on the slipcover, so I'll just flip it and have both. But put the disc back in there. You get an art card. This one is for the stylist, which I still haven't picked up. I doubt that I'll grab that one. It just doesn't seem like it appeals to me. But if you guys recommend it, that I should grab the stylist, let me know. You can comment down below. Yeah, these movies are fun. I'll admit though that I'm not really the biggest fan when it comes to like killer kid movies or possessed kid movies. I just don't really think they're all that scary to me. But you know, they're fun enough to watch, and I enjoyed Children of the Corn and stuff like that. I mean, they're not my favorite movies, but I still enjoy. There's some enjoyment there to be had. So that is called The Brotherhood of Satan from 1970. And I'm going to pause it momentarily, put some of the stuff away, and I'm going to get into the next title. The next one I was very, very happy to pick up. I love slasher movies, masked slasher movies too at that, and Steve Railsback stars in this movie. Early 80s, 1980. Yeah, 1980 I think this came out. But yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. Steve Railsback plays the lead role. He's, what does it say here? He is at his sinister best as a troubled Vietnam vet in 1982. Okay, 1982, Deadly Games. A tale of infidelity, madness, and murder from writer-director Scott Mansfield. A masked maniac with a penchant for a monster-themed board game is playing his own twisted game with women of a small American town. Each time the dice is rolled, another victim meets a grisly end. Returning home to mourn the death of her murdered sister, Keegan befriends local cop Roger and reclusive cinema projectionist Billy, played by Railsback, but soon finds herself in the killer's sights. That sounds really, really good. You get some pretty decent special features, as always. It's all region, 95 minutes running time. And this reversible cover looks pretty spectacular too. That is beautiful. A gloved hand rolling dice into like a pool of blood, and you can see in the reflection of the blood a horrified female's face. Just take a moment to think about the beauty in that. The detail in that is amazing. That's why I love these reversible covers and poster art. All that stuff is so good. And this one is advertising Hell High, where the students are dying to graduate. This one also does come with a booklet. Beautiful, beautiful booklet. I'm a sucker, I told you guys before. I love the purples and the blacks together, and even the blues and the blacks. And you can see the glove, the leather glove, which it was famous in the Giallo films, the Italian Giallo films from like the 60s and 70s. There was always a gloved killer, and there's blood dripping from the black leather glove. Really looking forward to diving into this one. That's creepy. That kind of a rubber mask or whatever that is there. All right, that is the last one for the single releases. I have a couple of box sets that I picked up, so let's get into those. I'll go through those quick. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to show these boxes in this video. I will do a separate unboxing for each of these box sets, and I'll go into detail. But these are, this one here is called Twisting the Knife. 4 films by Claude Chabrol. Come in these like digipack style packaging. I don't really like this style packaging. These don't hold up very well. I would rather have like plastic cases for the movies. But these 2 cases do look great. I think they look really good. And I've put them side by side. I know most of you have picked these up or at least have heard of them or seen unboxings of these. I'm going to do my own unboxing, but I'm just not going to do it in this video. Otherwise, it would be way, way too long. But you do get the 4 movies, like it says. You get... there's a book, I believe, Twisting the Knife, and then you get The Flower of Evil, Nightcap, The Color of Lies, and The Swindle. And these were all French slasher horror type movies. And the box does look great, though. I just wish they would have been plastic cases on the inside instead of these. Because the thing about these, if you look at the spine of these, they get kind of askew, like they don't stay flat. I don't know if you can notice that, but they tend to lean one way or the other, and they just don't look clean in there. It's if you have OCD and you see stuff like that, it just doesn't look clean. Like it doesn't fit. It would be nice if it was just a nice, smooth, uniform finish. This one is also by Claude Chabrol, and this is Lies and Deceit. And 5 films in this one. I think that's a book on the top. You get Torment, Betty, Madame Bovary, Inspector Lavardin, and Cop Au Vin. So I'm looking forward to checking these out. I will definitely do an unboxing for each of these videos in a separate video coming up, maybe next weekend. I can't say for sure, but you will see an unboxing of these at some point on my channel. So getting into I already showed the Nat King Cole. I'll show that again really quick. That's a really cool find. I think, like I said, I think I paid $1 for that. Really nice. And yes, I do have, I have actually 2 cassette tape players. I'm just afraid to play these because if they get stuck inside the player, if they pop and they get stuck in there, it's hard to open them up and clean out all that tape that gets gunked up inside there. I found these Everybody Loves Raymond. If you watched my videos, or one of my videos, I can't remember when it was, maybe 3, 4, 6 months ago, who knows. I was able to find the whole entire series of Everybody Loves Raymond, complete seasons 1 through 8. I can't remember how many seasons there were now offhand. But I found them in these little kind of digipack style packaging books here. Looks like a book. And I think these little packages, these were the editions that went in the box set house. You know, there was like a big house that looked like Raymond's house. You lift up the roof and you can kind of store all of the seasons inside the roof of the house. So I was able to get all those, and I think I got them all for like $20, and they were like brand new. So, I mean, some of these have never been pulled out. But I always liked this size better. This is the big, kind of the thicker, chunkier style. And I already had season 1 of this style. I got these for $2.50 a piece. So I only got seasons 1 through 5, and I got them for $2.50 a piece. So I do have the whole series in this little packaging. Now I have seasons 1 through 5 in this bigger packaging. Eventually I'm going to phase this one out. I may give it away. I may maybe just turn it into a thrift shop and let them resell it. Maybe donate it, something like that. But eventually I do want to get all of these big cases like this. I just pulled this one out to kind of show the difference in size. Now this has all of the episodes in it. It's just a smaller packaging, so I'm not going to spend too much time going through these or talking about this show. It's a great show. It's one of my favorite all-time shows. It was such a great show. There were so many great characters, but I do have seasons 1 through 5 now in the big packaging, and I also have the entire set on the smaller packaging. So eventually I'd like to get all the seasons in the bigger packaging, like I said. So we don't need to talk about that anymore. I have season 1 through 5 in the bigger packaging. Okay, so we'll go really quick through these VHS tapes that I've picked up too over the past month or so. I've kind of cut back. I cut back quite a bit actually on the VHS tapes. But I still grab them from time to time, especially if they're in really good shape and they're really cheap. I've been trying to get all of the Clint Eastwood movies on VHS. This is In the Line of Fire. You may notice that there's a little brown sticker on the inside there. I don't have any more Goo Gone, but as soon as I get some, I'm going to go and remove that. Be very gentle and remove it. You won't even know it was there. But for now, I put it in this plastic case, and I'm glad to have that in the collection. I also picked up the original first pressing of Willow, one of my favorite movies. Excellent movie. Val Kilmer was in the movie as Mad Mardigan. Just an all-around great adventure movie, family movie. Everything was so good about that movie. The characters were great. I picked up 2 of the vacation movies. National Lampoon's Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. Very fun movie. A lot of great memories watching that as a kid on HBO and VHS. I think there was, what, 4, maybe 5 vacation movies. This one here was my least favorite of those 5. I think if I had to choose a favorite, it would be the Christmas Vacation or the original Vacation. Those would be 1 and 2. This would probably be last, but it was still fun. And they had a different Rusty in this one, right? Isn't that what it was? I think Jason Lively was Russ in that one, whereas Anthony Michael Hall was the original. Am I wrong? It doesn't say on the back here. Did I just have a stroke? Am I wrong? Was Anthony Michael Hall not Russ? It doesn't list him on the back at all. So I could be completely mistaken about who played Russ, but yeah, it was a different Russ in European Vacation. Another one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw this in the theater when it came out with my family. Such a great movie, Dances with Wolves. It's a very long movie. It's a very heavy movie. We must have a lot of tape in there, but excellent movie. 181 minutes. It's 3 hours long. But one of the best movies. Not only just the characters and the acting in the movie was excellent. The scenery was breathtaking. The storyline was amazing. Everything was so good about this movie. It won 7 Academy Awards, and everything that they won, they deserved in this movie for sure. This is Kevin Costner's, this is his crown jewel, in my opinion. Who directed this one? Yeah, it was directed by Costner. I was right. He starred in it and directed it, and this is definitely his crown jewel. If you guys have never seen the movie The Ghost and the Darkness, starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas, it's based on a true story. This is kind of a horror movie in a way. It's based on a true story about sibling lions that are killing people in 1896 East Africa who are building trains through the lands. And these 2 lions, they believe that they were siblings from the same litter, and that they had lived together, and they would hunt together and just butcher and massacre people, tear them limb to limb. And this is a great movie. It's very suspenseful. It has a lot of horror elements to it, and it's based on a true story, which is even more chilling. If you guys have to watch this if you've never seen it before. If you don't take anything out of any of the suggestions that I'm giving you today, take this one, The Ghost in the Darkness. You'll definitely love that movie. Picked up a really clean copy of Independence Day. It was almost like new, so I snatched it up. Very cheap. And then this one was still sealed. This is The Painted Hills starring Lassie. It's still sealed, so I grabbed it. I think this was a quarter, maybe 50 cents. And anytime I find a VHS like that that's still sealed in mint condition, I'll grab it for a quarter. I got the Godfather Part 3. This case was a little bit beat up, but I think I'll upgrade this at some point, but the tapes were in really good condition, and these were the gold Blockbuster video tapes. So at some point, maybe I'll find a different case and I can put those tapes in. Those tapes look pretty cool. I like that gold look to it. And again, out of the 3 Godfather movies, this was the weakest of the 3, but I still enjoy it. I think the whole trilogy is excellent, but Part 3 is the weakest of the 3. Picked up some John Wayne stuff. Excuse me. Kicking up some dust in here. Again, there's a little sticker on there, but as soon as I get some goo gone, you'll never even know that was there. This was like in brand new condition. This is The Alamo, starring John Wayne. Richard Widmark is also in here. There he is. Got a couple more here. I got True Grit. That's when the Duke finally won his Oscar, deservingly. So, great American, great actor, great man, legend. Rest in peace, John Wayne. You were truly one of the greatest, and you deserve that Oscar. John Wayne and Gabby Hayes in Blue Steel. And John Wayne in Angel and the Bad Man. I remember watching this with my dad back in the day. Gail Russell's in here. She was Prudence Worth. John Wayne had a really unique name in this movie called Quirt. I'll never forget that. Quirt. Very strange, but hey, anybody out there named Quirt, don't be offended. My name's Todd. So, I mean, that's kind of a strange name too, right? I picked up Tales from the Neverending Story. This was kind of a prequel, but it came out after all of the Neverending Stories were already out. I can't remember how many years had passed. This came out in 2002, and I think the original Neverending Story came out in like 84, maybe 1985. So this came out quite a bit after, and this was like a prequel, so very good condition. Very nice. And then I picked up Kiki's Delivery Service, which is a Studio Ghibli movie. And for a while, Disney owned the rights to these, but they don't anymore. But I thought that was pretty cool to see that out in the wild. A quarter, 50 cents, whatever it was for that. So I'm going to pause it here. We'll get into the comic books, and then we'll call this a video. Okay, so like I was saying, I went down a completely different rabbit hole now, and now I'm starting to get into comic books. Starting to get into the graded comic books. I've always kind of liked comics, although I would never really consider myself a collector, so to speak. But I do like certain ones. Like I've always liked Spider-Man. I like older Batman books and stuff like that. And you'll see when I go through my pile of stuff here that I have kind of a unique, or maybe not unique, but what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of an obscure taste in books or things I collect. I'm not sure. I'll get into this later. This is a box set from John Carpenter. I'll get into these two things last, but I left myself little notes because I can't remember everything. But this is a graded 9.6 comic book of Sword and Sorcery number 4. The book is from 1973. And this one is dual signed. You have the author of the book, Denny O'Neil, right there in black across the front. And then you have the artist, the cover artist, who is Howard Chaykin. He signs on the inside of the cover, so you can't really see it. But it was witnessed by CGC, and they graded this book as a 9.6. The highest you can get is a 10.0. Those are very rare. Usually people like 9.8s. They consider that mint. 9.9 and 10 are like gem mint. So this was a pretty good book. There's only one that's graded in 9.6 on the census. When you go to the CGC website, you can type in the number there. It'll tell you how many were graded as that. And there are actually no grades higher than that. So this book is quite rare. There's only one in a 9.6. It's dual signed. And there are none in a higher grade. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was issue number 4, by the way. This is the same line. There's only 5 books that were in this little run. This is book number 1, so I have book 1 and 4. I need to get 2, 3, and 5, and I'll get those eventually. This was graded as a 9.2, and it was signed again by Howard Chaykin. He signed it on the inside. He was the cover artist again. This one came out in 1973. And there were only 3 that were graded as a 9.2, and there were none that were graded higher. So this is a pretty good book. These older books are harder to find in good condition because people were reading them, thumbing through them, creasing them. And here's a book that I've had many times in my life, but now I have it graded. This is the very first issue of Fangoria. It was graded as a 9.2. There are 5 in the census that are graded as 9.2, and there are 41 books that are graded higher than that. So this is a really good book to have, and I think it's only going to go up in price over the years. That is the iconic Godzilla #1 issue. This one here was probably my favorite book that I have so far, and although it's only graded as a 4.5, which is a low grade, it's like a middle grade, a little bit lower than middle. This one was signed by artist Neil Adams, who recently passed away. He passed away a couple months ago. And you can see here, if you can read that, it said it was signed by Neal Adams on 4/10/21. So he signed it in April of 21. And 1 year later, in April of 22, he passed away. And this was also from the personal collection of Neal Adams. So I have that provenance with this book. And this is the 1977 issue, number 254 of House of Mystery. It was signed by Neal Adams right there. And this was a book from his personal collection. So it's pretty valuable. There's only one that was graded in a 4.5, and that's the one I have. And there's only one that was graded higher than this. And this is probably the most expensive book that I have in my comic collection right now. I think it's valued at about $500. So this one here was pretty cool. It has a pretty cool story to it. This is called Weird Trips. I got a 7.0 on this one. It's Weird Trips number 2. I think there were only 2 books in the line, and they discontinued it after this one. This was put out by Kitchen Sink Press in 1978. Has Ed Gein on the cover. This cover was recalled and banned, so not many of these exist anymore. And if you can get it in a really good condition, that's very, very valuable. I have this as a 7.0. I would say that this is probably about a $400 book. If you were to get into the 9s, 9.0 to 9 point whatever, or 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, you're looking at maybe a couple grand at least. Like, I mean, it could even be higher. But 7.0 is a very good grade. It has white pages. So yeah, the artist who did this one, we're going to talk more about him in a little bit. His name was William Stout, and I'm going to show you some of the books that I bought by William Stout that are signed also. But yeah, he was the artist that did this cover back in 1978. He was known to be kind of a controversial type guy. He also did a Beatles record cover, and on the record cover he drew the Beatles, and he also drew the guy who assassinated Lennon in the picture, and people lost their minds back then. So that was, I think that was pulled too. So that's kind of a rare record. I think that thing goes for a couple $100 if you can find it now. But yeah, that's Weird Trips number 2, the Ed Gein cover that was recalled and banned. Kind of hard to find that one now. Not many of them exist. And I have one. This is Joker. This was a one-off. It's Joker number 1, called The Year of the Villain. This was a book that was written by horror's John Carpenter, the John Carpenter, and he signed it right there. And this is a 9.8, which is a very, very high grade. And you can see there it says signed by John Carpenter on 11/11/19. This book came out in the year 2019. And I have 4 copies of this book. They're all signed. They're all 9.8. I was thinking maybe if I ever get to 10,000 subs, which is a long ways away. I'm only at 5,000 right now. If I ever do get to 10,000, I'm going to give some stuff away and show, people appreciation for watching, commenting, liking the videos. That all means a lot to me. So I'll probably give one of those away as a gift. I'll probably have a lot of gifts at that time, or prizes, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, I left some notes for myself, but the top grade is a 9.8. That's what I have. There's a total of 76 books that were graded as a 9.8 that were signed by Carpenter, and I have 4 of those. So that's pretty cool. Now I have some independent comics here, and I have, this is an Alan Moore cover. This is a Gem Mint 10. This is a leather cover that was graded as a 10 by CGC. It was limited to 150 copies, so this is going to be another rare book. It was only 150 copies, and it's a Gem 10, so I don't think too many of those got a 10, if any other ones at all did get a 10. And Alan Moore, he was kind of an occultist author, publisher, and this is another one by him. This is called Providence. It's a 9.8. It was signed by Alan Moore right there, and he signed it in the year 2015. And there are a total of 192 books that were graded 9.8. And there's 4 that were graded higher than that. So, and the last 2 that are graded these are trade paperbacks that were signed by George R.R. Martin, who was the author of the Game of Thrones. I actually have 2 of these, and they're graded at 9.8. And George Martin signed those on July 13th, 2014. You can see his signature there and there. They're both graded as 9.8s. So I may give one of those away as well, or trade. I'm not sure what I'll do with those, but you know, with the price of comics going up and up and up, I thought these were kind of a good, a good time to buy these, and hope that they kind of go up in value over time. But then again, with the recession we're in right now, they may go down before they go up again. So who's to say for sure? But now the last couple things I'm going to show you guys here, and we will call it a video. Actually, let me pause it here really quick. Okay, so these are called William Stout Monster Sketchbooks, and he usually gives these or sells these at Comic-Cons or conventions, and I think he only does it in California, but you can order them online too. And he usually limits these to 950 signed copies. So I think so far to date he has 6 of them. I have 3 here. I have ordered the other 3. They're on the way to my house. I'll show those in a upcoming video. But William Stout he still is. He's with us now still. He's the one that did this cover. I think he's amazing. He's really good at drawing dinosaurs too. That's probably his forte. But he does a lot of different monster stuff too, and I think it's amazing. So I'm not going to go through all 3 of the books. I'll just kind of thumb through the 3rd one. But this is Monster Sketchbook 1. This one's pretty rare now. It's hard to find it. And 2. These are both the hardest ones to find. And they're a little bit more expensive now because of their scarcity. This is 6. And I opened this one up to show you guys, and I'll quickly show you where he signed it. The cool thing about this one is this is actually an artist's proof, which means it was limited to 50. And I got number 1 or 41 out of 50 artist proof, and he signed it William Stout. And this book came out in 2019. But since we had COVID for the last couple of years, he hasn't done any. There haven't been any. I guess the conventions are back now, but I'm not sure if he's done a book 7 yet. But you can see that his artwork is really amazing. So this one was limited to 50. The other 2 that I showed you were limited to 950. Peter Cushing. Man, that looks good. That looks really good. Christopher Lee as Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, I mean, these are really, really nice. The Devil's Backbone from 2001. Forbidden Planet. Or is that Lost in Space? I can't tell. It's kind of a mishmash of stuff going on there. Really, really cool. I'm glad to have these. Pan's Labyrinth. So those are the sketchbooks. I'll show you the other 3 when they come in a different video. But I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to show you a pretty cool book that John Carpenter signed. Okay, so this last item here is a graphic novel that was written by John Carpenter. It comes in this beautiful box set. It's a really hard-shelled outer case here. It's called Asylum. John Carpenter's Asylum. And it comes in this really beautiful hardcover book, and it's signed by a bunch of people. I know Carpenter signed there. His wife Sandy King, who is also part writer for this, and a lot of the artists and anybody who had anything to do with this book has signed that little plate there. And I'm not going to go through the whole book. I just want to kind of give you like a feel for it. Copyright 2014, so this has been out for a while. These are the people who signed it. You have John Carpenter, of course, and then you have Leonardo Manco, Kinsu Lo, Janice Chang, Leonardo Manco, Sandy King. And wouldn't be surprised if they make a movie out of this someday, or if they're maybe starting to. Maybe it's in the works already. But this is amazing. It looks really, really good. I know this was limited to, I think it was limited to like 500 or maybe less, maybe 250, I don't remember. But it's still very affordable, considering it's a John Carpenter signed piece that's collectible and limited. I think it was less than a couple $100. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like the video and you want to show support, please consider subscribing or leaving a thumbs up. That way it gives YouTube will give the opportunity for other viewers to watch the video and to help the channel grow. You can always leave a comment too. It's always good to hear from you guys. Let me know what you've picked up lately. Let me know what you thought of the things I picked up. Let me know how you guys have been doing. It's been a while. Hope you enjoyed it. For Miss Heidi and Miss Hannah, I am your boy Toddy Walnuts. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Later.